and wished to have been with us today, but couldn't happen. So I'm chairing before we start, I want to thank you for your engagement in terms of the 3 days that we have had, 3 days discussions, and is for your contributions. Thank you also for coming today for the General Assembly. In front of you, you will have the agenda. I don't know if you have it, but I will call for someone to move a motion. Dr. Yemi, thank you. And who seconds? Thank you. And who seconds? Thank you very much. I hope you're taking note. Thank you. The next on the agenda is synthesis of outcomes of the last 3 days. To take over from me now to present the synthesis of the outcome. Prof, where are you? Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, thank you very much for honoring us all. Very strong appreciation from the Secretariat of FARA. Can you please put on my presentation? And so we want to show this profound gratitude to everyone, and to do that, you will observe I folded my cap on the right side. Okay, my role this morning is to present an overview of the 9th Agricultural Science Week. And we spend the last 3 days. The Science Week is to provide a platform, for networking, knowledge exchange, building consensus, this interaction. Yeah, the Science Week also and often provide us with opportunity to review the progress we are making and come up with a clear mapping, an agenda. And, these are the objectives we set for, we have given a lot of attention to. As it were, we do exhibitions that shows technologies and product of technologies that are generated by different international organizations and local organizations, especially the countries. We give opportunity also for organization of a side event. Let me, in a lot of sense, we have a total of 924 individuals that participated in the last 3 days. And we want to show appreciation for that big turn around. Of course, of these 924, 822 are delegates, and 102 individuals provided different services. They are service providers. About 215 countries participated in this Science Week, and what we did is to show the first 10 countries. Apparently, or as expected, Nigeria is the host country, and about 459 individuals are from Nigeria. Service providers, inclusive, people from the NAS, people from government offices, non-governmental organization, and others. So by sector, I place it here to show that research and academia, they pick the largest percentage, at least 70% of the total participant. Then policy actors, 12%. The civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations, 7%. Private sector, 5%. And the extension group, they constitute 6% of the participant. And that is quite a good coverage of the group we expect. For the exhibitions, 30 exhibitions were set up including the exhibition set up by the National Cultural Research System in Nigeria. And the pictures I put, they are dignitaries opening the exhibition and participants in the different exhibition. I want to say that the National Cultural and NGO. And then we have a very good participation also from the university group. 10 of them set up different exhibition. Before I get into this, I want to say that we had 30 distinct, okay, yeah, thank you. We had 30 distinct side events, in the last 3 days. And I walked around a bit to see the display, the participation, and the amount of energy in the different rooms. They were very impressive. You were with us, and you already know that we had the lead paper presented by the general manager of Academia 2063, Dr. DBC Araba. And she came up with these strong points that are displayed here, trying to show this. Africa is at a turning point. And so we need strong policies, proven technologies, and partnerships to get things going. He also pointed out the greatest challenge in Africa is their institutional capacity, not so much of technology. And I agree strongly with him on that point. Getting the technology to deliver and technologies, but bringing it to scale is that. So in his presentation, he recommended transformative partnership to bring action to scale. Well, we got a keynote paper from Dr. Simon Hewi, the Director General of International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. And I like that phrase. That's why it's now depend on investing in science, strengthening partnership, and scaling proven innovation into measuring leads its own agricultural innovation agenda. And that is something all of us need to take home. You know, I saw an African-led, African-owned and African-led. We know where the shoe is eating us more than any other person. But we've also been advised that it must be Africa funded, and a lot of work is going on that. So and we need to give a lot of attention to that. We got high level presentations also secured with investment in science, innovation, institution, and partnership. And those are the things that we translate knowledge into, transform into innovation. And he said that modern agriculture requires investment in science, technology, and innovation. And he encouraged true for all of us as we go back into our laboratories. We should begin to think beyond the theoretical frame, just generating knowledge. My job is not finished until my technology is taken. I just use this to show pictures for agriculture conference. We had a number of ministers participate in that, and that is an high point of the science week. You know, the big part of this is the opportunity we have to interrogate what we've been doing around science and innovation. So SPAC is simply the Honorable Minister of State helped us to understand again that research excellence must be measured by the mention. And he said we must build a self-reliant, partnership-driven agricultural system. Well, an highlight of SPAC is the launch of the book that constitutes studies that we have carried out by FARA, the SROs, and HAFAs for about 1 year, taking input from all the NAS in Africa and conduct series of survey to come up with this Africa position. We call it reimagining agricultural research in Africa. Well, the barcode there is for as many people as may want electronic copy of the book. So we launch the book. You know, one of the big things around this book is that every generation has the responsibility not only to solve today's challenges. Conferences stimulate dialogue, as we've had it. Policies stimulate direction, but books preserve knowledge, challenge conventional thinking, and shape the future. And that is what this book is going to do. I also want to bring to our notice again a closed session of a sort. We call it Abuja convening that looks at, it's an high-level ministerial meeting discussing funding agricultural research in Africa. That is organized by FARA and its partner and NADF. An Abuja clarion call was developed from that meeting and has been signed to be released. The big part of this clarion call is that we should look at a creative way to fund agricultural research in Africa. We should reach out onto the government of the different countries to do funding in a more systematic way. Possibly, we should look for funding from different directions. And it is beautiful that the leaders of agriculture, largest population, then Nigeria also have the largest challenge when it comes to agricultural research. And the ministers has agreed to lead this. Part of the package is also to think around endowment for Africa agricultural research and innovation. And that brings a lot of joy to so many of us that have been looking for the way to go. I also want to show that the knowledge management group in Africa, endorsed by the CADEPESP4 organizations, the CGIAR, and the authorizing organization. Well, we had 4 sub-teams to flog the central team, and points were emphasized, or they summarize the discussion around that team. We need to build digital infrastructure and data system to support precision agriculture. And this is a do-do. Africa must not miss out of the digital transformation that we already seen. And we need to strengthen human capacity to get this done. For theme 2, the issue of climate resilience has been with us for about 2 decades. But we need to begin to scale climate smart technology and the nature-based approaches. For theme 3, we need to build resilience around urban and peri-urban food system. We need to continue to promote nutritional sensitive agriculture. And the last theme 4, talked about enabling impact at scale. Yes, this is topical. And, part of the discussion can be summarized as the need to build sustainable financing for agricultural research, innovation, and scaling, and promote inclusive participation to ensure equitable agricultural transformation. So I'll close by saying for the Science Week, these 5 points stand sure as the big game changer. And I will mention each of them. Science and innovation is seen as the primary driver of agricultural transformation in Africa. We cannot throw it behind us, because that is the only way to go. As such, Africa needs to build an integrated Africa agricultural innovation ecosystem. We have one, but we need to optimize it to deliver more. Then the scaling of technologies that deliver triple wins. And what are these triple wins? Productivity, resilience, and nutrition. Then the need to mobilize African land investment for agricultural research and innovation. Then we need to measure success by transforming lives rather than just producing knowledge. Let me stop there and say a big thank you to everyone. But Mr. Chair, please permit me to give a bit of acknowledgement and appreciation in a more proper way. FARA is so grateful to the government and the people of Nigeria for agreeing to host this and to provide support. We want to say thank you to ARCN for being our partner. We want to say thank you to the SROs And we received support from Sasakawa Africa, the OCP, TAT, CGIAR, NADF, and Society for Family Health and Bioessential. Okay, thank you very much, and I stop there.
I think Prof deserves another round of applause. He's done an amazing work to capture all the thinking, the insights that went on the last few days. And thanks for your 5 main points, takeaway. I was wondering how you could reduce all these thinking into 5, but then, yeah, that's your skill. Thank you very much. Thank you. Another round of applause. Thank you. At this juncture, we want to move to some governance issues. We are governed by procedures and processes, and as you are aware, FARA has board of directors, and the board's life is between assemblies. So today we have to usher in a new board, as some of the members of the old board, their tenures have come to term and they have to go. So we are going to use this time to ratify some of the members as they come in, the new members, and bid the old members farewell. As we show the profiles of the new members, I will suggest that you walk on the stage so we see who you are. So we will start off with having the new members, the profiles being shown by the technology team. And as your profile comes on, you can walk on the stage so the General Assembly can identify you. Okay. Yes, you. Okay, so there's no audio, so you stand, unfortunately. You stand for all the others to come. Name? Yes, sorry, we have Dr. Mark Garvey, who is the incoming new FARA. Oh, sorry. Who is the new incoming chair of FARA. A round of applause. The ED. Think his tenure keeps going with his term in office, so you know Dr. Agri. And the Executive Director for Aserica, Dr. Baguma. Prof. Azim, is he here? Yes, Maher's here. Dr. Savadogo, Executive Director for CORAF. Mr. Dagmore Tawunizi. Is he here today? Yeah, he wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I think he couldn't make it, but yeah, thank you. And Dr. Ehui, he joined us online, so he is with us. Mr. Philip Boahen, African Development Bank rep. Mr. Kennedy Ayson. Kennedy, yeah? No? Okay, so maybe Kennedy will join us later. Thank you. Mr. Anthony Boateng, he's on stage. And Mrs. Judith Ngang wasn't able to join us, and she is the private sector rep on the board. Madam Tombo is here. I saw, yes. The farmers representative on the board. That should be it. Okay, General Assembly. So this is your new board serving from 2026 to 2029. I present to you your new board. As procedure dictates, we need the General Assembly to ratify the board, and maybe you can do that by an applause if you agree. So if I don't hear anyone clap, then we have to go through. Okay, thank you very much. I think now what you can take your seat, please. Yeah. Sorry, stay. We need to take a picture. It's important. Yeah, sorry. You've taken? You've taken. It's proper for us to have a very brief ceremony to hand over the baton to the new chair, so he can take the reins of power for 2026 and 2020 to 2029. In doing so, I call Professor Yemi to come on stage to help us do the handover. And Prof is just the immediate past ED for FARA. Wonderful.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Good morning. That sounds better. Dinah, can I have the gavel? Who's got the gavel? Okay. All right, so my job is very simple and straightforward today. First of all, I'd like to express very deep appreciation to the board for asking me to do this very great honor. And I just want to say a few words before, because this is a very momentous occasion, I wouldn't let it pass, but also to emphasize the significance of what we're doing today. Anthony already mentioned that in the context of the governance of the work of FARA, the General Assembly is actually the apex organ. So you in the room today, you are the force behind the new board that has just been inaugurated. What I'm doing at this particular moment, what I'll be doing is to use the instrument of the office to actually signify the passation de service, as they say in French, the handing over between the two, the outgoing and the incoming chairpersons of the board of FARA, that is also representing the interests of the General Assembly. So this is just to put things in proper perspective and in their right context. I saw this happen for the first time in the year 2013 between Dr. Teomoko Yo, when I was inaugurated as Executive Director of FARA in Accra. And I've seen that pass from Teomoko Yo to Charity Kruger from South Africa. Teomoko was from Côte d'Ivoire, West Africa. And the question arose, how is it that there was no call, but I think it will be explained how the process has eventually evolved. And then Teomoko Yo handed over to the late Mokisira. And late Mokisira handed over to Aliun Fall. Aliun Fall in Durban handed over to Madam Bongiwe Njobe, who is unfortunately indisposed this morning, but ably represented by Anthony, my dear brother standing behind me. So I'm going to invite the new chair. Please come over, Dr. Bagabe. And what I will be doing is simply we use the gavel as the symbol of authority that now passes between the outgoing chair. So you will give it to him. And he takes that from him. Is somebody having a roving mic? Okay.
So, Chair, we give you a file to indicate that there's a lot of work to be done. And then with the work comes the authority to do the work, which is the gavel.
So he's got the gavel now. I think you want to sound the gavel. Huh? Yes. Excellent. If this was Rome, they will say Habam Papa. But now I can also say, my hand is hanging. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, my job is done. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Yemi. We will invite the new chair to give his address, his acceptance speech, in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to present the board's accountability report to you as an assembly. And then after that, some highlights of the Secretariat's achievements over the period. And when we finish that, we can then get the new chair to give his acceptance speech. Thank you. So I invite Madam Janet to give the board accountability report.
All right, thank you, Anthony, and thank you, our new board, for taking over the mantle. We wish you well, Dr. Bagabe, as you lead the new board. So on behalf of our board chair, who, as you've heard, is unwell today, I would like to read the accountability reports, and also on behalf of the board, our new other board member from Zimbabwe, Kadesa, who is also unwell. So ladies and gentlemen, the board of FARA respectfully submits its accountability report for the General Assembly period 2023 to 2026 in fulfillment of our constitutional annual. So this reporting period was characterized by an increasing complex operating environment for FARA. As you know, this is also the year when evolving donor expectations were high. There was heightened governance and compliance requirements. There was also constrained development financing, as you know, with the withdrawal of various organizations, and also the growing need to position FARA as a sustainable. Against this backdrop, that we remain steadfast in providing strategic leadership, independent oversight, while supporting the management in advancing its organizational mandate. So throughout this period, we had standing committees that were instrumental in driving the reports of FARA. And the key focus was on strengthening financial governance and institutional sustainability. We also focused on governance systems and organizational accountability, and you will see some of that too. And we developed institutional investments, including the advancement of FARA's new oversight. So for this, the board accepts full responsibility for the discharge of the governance. So we worked, as I said earlier, and on the first governance committee was a programs committee. Through this committee, we focused on strengthening strategic program oversight for FARA. And the committee looked at successive board meetings and provided governance and strengthened program quality, accountability, and with the Kampala CADAP Declaration and Continental Agricultural Reform Agenda. It also pushed for the consolidation of a culture of performance of excellence, including improvement of targets. And as we saw from, and also we'll see later from the report of the executive director, there's been very good progress. Dr. Ideme, for your support with the Africa Union and all your colleagues. There's been heightened support from the Africa Union, AUDA, NEPAD, and the CGR partners. We also had lots of engagement with the private sector and also the RLs, the agricultural research institutions. So towards this, FARA has emerged as a thought leader when you talk of soil health, sites and underutilized species in the innovation sector. The strategic challenges for the program people was how do we prioritize the staff to spend inordinate shares of their time in resource mobilization while focusing on programs. So for priorities, Chair, for the next incoming dates, we are also requesting to improve communication of outcomes. FARA, we realize, is doing a lot, but most of the time it's not known out there, so we're requesting to support in communication and also to deepen. They were charged with the issue of improving institutional investments, resource mobilization, and also looking at the administrative and governance of human resource policies. So the key achievement of that was that they improved the pipeline for FARA, despite the circumstances in the biggest achievement of this board was to find and headquarters for FARA to ensure, because the land is now available, it is how we establish and have the headquarters. So priorities for the incoming chair and the committee is long-term financial sustainability and governance, how we are going to mobilize financing for the headquarters, how you're going to do review of organizational policies and financial resilience. For the Audit and Risk Management Committee, a lot of things over the years, we completed various internal audits, various internal and external audits, but also to develop what we call the Enterprise Risk Register review. So the key priorities for the incoming board is to strengthen the enterprise risk management, to improve implementation of the audit reporting and audit compliance. For the Nomination and Governance Committee, through its able chair of a hearing from her later today, constitutional amendments, board performance initiatives, and succession planning for the board. Key priorities will be to implement the governance reforms, which will be approved here today, continued review of governance instruments, strengthen of board evaluation process, enhance succession planning, and strengthen board challenges. We request the General Assembly to support the incoming board in several systems, reduce the continuous dependency on donor funding because it's no longer available. We are asking the GA to work with FARA to help mobilize resources for the new headquarters in Ghana delegation and also support in the succession planning. So as we conclude, as I said earlier, consolidating the 9 requests for the new board is to implement a comprehensive financial sustainability, as I said, mobilize the financing for the headquarters, implement constitutional governance, deepen board performance evaluation, but most of all, supporting management to position FARA as satisfied, and the board is satisfied with the discharge of the work led by our able chair assembly today, for the confidence that you placed on us for the last 3 years. And we acknowledge your invaluable support and collaboration with all the member states, with the SROs, with the executive director, the secretariat, and we want at also this point to recognize the work of the secretariat in advancing the board performance over the last 3 years. We would not have done it without you. So as we conclude, the board reaffirms its confidence to the future of FARA in the capacity of the incoming board, as you have seen, to build upon the institutional foundations established. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Janet. Thank you very much. During the introduction of the new board, we missed one. We mentioned his name, but he's present now, so it's proper for me to introduce him to the General Assembly. Mr. Kennedy Aison, AUC representative. Thank you very much. The next on the agenda is for us to consider some amendments to the Constitution and governance model of FARA. So the background to this is the Constitution, which is the instrument that governs the organization, has been in operation for a while. And we found it fit to ensure that this is a dynamic document that fits the current operation, current conditions we find ourselves. So I hereby bring Madam for your approval. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair, Mr. Anthony. the incoming board chair, Dr. Mark, and the incoming board. Let me start by, ladies and gentlemen, it is my immense honor with a deep sense of respect to present to you the proposed amendments to the Constitution of the Forum for Agriculture Research in Africa. FARA's Constitution was last amended at the 8th General Assembly, which took place in November 2020. But these amendments only focused on the composition of the board. So when we came in as the new board, which was appointed by the 9th General Assembly in June 2023, we found it important that some of the provisions of the Constitution were not aligned with the current policy frameworks, but also others were operationally impractical and difficult to enforce. So the purpose of the amendments, I think Anthony has already touched on them, is first of all to align the Constitution with the current mission and the strategic vision of FARA, to align it with globally recognized governance, good governance and accountability principles, to revise the impractical clauses to ensure high process. So the review was done by the Nominations and Governance Committee, which I'm privileged to chair, and we made the recommendations to the full board, which sat down and looked at all the proposed amendments. Then the board shared the proposed amendment. The founding members are Kadesa, Asareka, and Koraf. So the founding members submitted their comments, had another meeting to look at the comments that were coming in from the SROs, and we came up with our final board recommendations for amendments, which we are going to share today with the General Assembly. So the FARA Constitution has 14 articles as they are laid there. I'm not going to go to that. We are proposing amendments, and the new article which we are introducing to the Constitution. And the 7 articles are going to focus on the vision and mission of FARA, the functions of FARA, Article 5, Article 7, the membership of FARA, Article 8, the organs of FARA. We're also going to look at Article 10, which looks at the amendments, Article 11, the official languages of FARA, and we introduced another article which is looking at the settlement of disputes and arbitration as the proposed amendments. So the way we've structured them is that we are presenting the current status, the proposed amendments. I'm using that screen. Yeah, thank you. So when you look at the vision of FARA, it focuses on reduced poverty in Africa as a result of sustainable broad-based agriculture growth and improved livelihoods, particularly of smallholder and pastoral enterprises. And what we are proposing is that the vision of FARA is a healthy and prosperous Africa propelled by sustainable and resilient agri-food systems. And the rationale is that the proposed revision seeks to align the provision with the CAADP Kampala strategy, which focuses on agri-food systems, agro-industry, nutrition, inclusion, and resilience, competitiveness and markets by supporting Africa's sub-region organization in strengthening capacity for agricultural innovation. And this leaves out the core mandate of FARA, which is around science, technology, and innovations. So we are proposing a change in the mission to facilitate improved application of science, technology, and innovation to ensure Africa's agri-food systems provide all people with healthy diets based on sustainable production, in well-functioning markets that are resilient to shocks and contribute to employment and income generation for young people, women, men, and the marginalized communities. Article 5 looks at the functions of FARA. And when you look at the current constitution, promoting exchange of information technology and human resources at the Pan-Africa level. So the proposed revision seeks to align the provision with the evolving realities and the roles of FARA that have changed over time. So in addition to the three, we are proposing an addition of 2 more, which is promote partnerships for enhancing the impact of risk. Article 7 looks at the membership of FARA. So the current membership, which is under sub-article 7.1, the membership is open to all individuals and institutional stakeholders in African agriculture research and development. So what we are proposing is that the membership should only be open to institutional stakeholders, not individuals. And the individual membership should only be limited to honorary members. Sorry. That we need to align with the mandate of FARA, which is institutional centered, and also assure the continuity of the membership. Article 7, again, under the membership of FARA and under subsection 2 of 3, the current status of membership of FARA consists of 5 individual membership, except for honorary members, and remove the differentiation of the nulls from other institutions. Will consist category 1, which is the founding members, the 3 sub-regional research organization, which is Asareka, Kadesa, and Koraf. Then the ordinary membership, which is all eligible organizations in the agri-food ecosystem, including, among others, actors in research, in education, in extensive society, and the media. And then the third category is on strategic partners, and these include the grant-making institutions, agencies, and countries, foundations, and the honorary membership, whose nomination acceptance is by the board through, I think it is approval by the board, by the General Assembly with recommendation from the board. Under Article 7 is that it states that all members shall pay membership subscription fees as determined from time to time by the board on behalf of the General Assembly in order to attend the business sessions of the FARA General Assembly. So what we are proposing and the rationale is that we dering the requirements to pay fees from attending the General Assembly. It should be subscription fees as determined by the board from time to time. And then under 7.7, all members board on behalf of the GA in order to attend the plenary session of the FARA General Assembly. I want to read it with 7.8, which states that non-members who have paid registration fees may be invited by the chairperson in writing to attend the business sessions as observers. So we are proposing to omit this from the proposed amendments from the Constitution because there is no obligation to pay membership fees. So membership fees is different from registration to attend the Science Week. Under Article 8, it looks at the organs of FARA and starting with the General Assembly. In the current Constitution, the General Assembly of the members shall consist of registered and paid up members. So we are trying to distinguish the rights of the members who are paid up from those who are not in good standing. And what we are unpaid up members But we are adding that only paid-up members shall have voting rights. Constitution it states that the GA will elect the chairperson of FARA upon nomination by the board. And it will also receive, review, and make decisions, proposing that we remove the word elect because the GA does not elect the chairperson. Its mandate is to ratify the selection and appointment of the chairperson and the FARA board, like we've just done. But also it receives, reviews, and adopts the reports from the board and the secretariat. Meetings. How it is currently is that meetings, the General Assembly meetings and venue, at the request of the chairperson or by written request for any of the founding institutional members, the board of FARA may convene an extraordinary meeting of the General Assembly where it becomes necessary to elect a new chairperson or ratify the selection and appointment of a new executive director in between the ordinary general or for any other reason as the board may deem appropriate. What we are proposing is that at the request of the chairperson or by written request from any of the founding institutional members, the board of FARA may convene an extraordinary meeting of the GA once, we are proposing once, in between ordinary General Assembly meetings where it becomes necessary to elect a new chairperson or to dissolve FARA in accordance with Article 12 of this Constitution, or for any other reasons as the board may deem appropriate. So the extraordinary meeting can only be convened. This is what we are proposing to add. The extraordinary meeting can only be convened if 2/3 of paid-up members are in agreement with the call for the extraordinary General Assembly. And the rationale is to align with the provisions that empowers the board to select the executive director, to limit the extraordinary meetings to one in between the ordinary General Assembly convening extraordinary meetings. Under Article 8, on organs of FARA, the current chairperson of FARA shall be elected on a rotational basis from one of the SROs. So what we are proposing is the selection and appointment. So the chairperson of FARA shall be selected, not a rotational basis out of nomination from the sub-region. But the FARA board also has, as an organ, in case the nominated candidates don't meet the criteria. So the rationale clarifies that the chairperson is not elected and the FARA board is responsible for that selection process. The chairperson's term of office. So the chairperson remains in office for 3 years until the next meeting of the GA. During his or her tenure, the chairperson shall chair the board meetings and extraordinary meetings of the General Assembly. So what we are proposing is that the chairperson shall serve a term of 3 years and shall be eligible for reappointment for a second and final 3-year term, subject to performance and health assessment. So the appointment of a new chairperson from another sub-region shall follow the established rotation and shall be ratified at subsequent General Assembly. In the event that the chairperson is unable to complete his or her term or resigns before the end of their term, the remainder of the term following the same selection process. So that is the addition that we are introducing. And this is also to ensure continuity as it was observed. It's to ensure continuity as it was observed that a single term of 3 years is too short to realize a vision, and all board directors' positions to be eligible for 2 terms. Under Article 8, on the organs of FARA, which is the board, proposing to drop 2 board positions. And one is on the representation of the African Union Development Agency, or what we know as AUDA-NEPAD, which position has been there with voting rights, and the representation of non-African development partners with non-voting rights. And the rationale is that the representation of the Africa Union Commission represents all Africa Union organs, including AUDA-NEPAD, Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and other agencies. So AU is the mother of all these agencies. And on the non-African development partners, the non-African development partners themselves propose to drop off the board and instead have an alternative mechanism for engaging with the board. Since the board 8, again still on the organs of FARA under the board of directors and the executive director, under the executive director, but the General Assembly never appoints the ED. The process has been that they only ratify the process which is recommended by the board. So we are proposing that the executive director of FARA shall be appointed by the board, and the executive director shall be appointed for a period of good practice, and the proposed amendment is consistent with the current FARA practice. So what you've seen, our General Assembly happens after 3 years. And if the ED is in office for 10 years for the GA, or what happens after him serving 2 terms, which ends a year after, the executive director shall be, as delegated by the chairperson, this is what the current constitution says, serve as the CEO and legal representative. The executive director shall serve as the CEO. So we are removing as delegated. So he's by the board of FARA. And the revision clarifies that the ED's functions is a legal representation of FARA. Under Article 10, which is looking at the amendments, under the current situation, such proposed amendment shall have been mailed together with its full text to all voting members at least amend this constitution by a 3/4 majority vote of its voting members following the following procedures. So we are introducing these procedures before they can vote on the amendments. Number 1, the Board of Directors shall endorse the proposed amendments and authorize the Executive Director to circulate them to all voting members. Number 2, the Executive Director shall transmit the proposed amendments along with better than 2 months before the General Assembly meeting. Number 3, the voting members are required to submit feedback within 1 month after receiving the proposed amendments. And the Secretariat shall consolidate all the feedback and submit it to the board for review. Bullet 4 states that the board will review for ratification by the General Assembly. And this final document must be shared with all the voting members to provide greater clarity and specificity for the amendments process. Article 11 speaks of the official languages of FARA. And in the current constitution, it states that official languages of FARA shall be English, French, Arabic, and Portuguese. So what we are proposing, since FARA aligned to the languages of the African Union Commission. However, for FARA meetings, the official languages shall be English and French. So the rationale, again, like I've already mentioned, is to align with the language policies of authorizing continental organization, which is the AUC. So, which is a new article. Can I have some water? which is on the settlement of disputes and arbitration. As a membership-based organization, we understand that we cannot do away with disputes, and we need to have an arbitration process. Or disagreement arising out of or in connection with the interpretation, the application or execution of this constitution, or any other matters related to the organization, which is FARA, shall first be addressed through negotiation and amicable settlement between the parties. In the event referred to arbitration, and the arbitration process shall be conducted in accordance with the adjudication or arbitration under the auspices of the Alternative Dispute Resolution Center, Act 798 as revised, statutory modifications or reenactment thereof applicable to such arbitration. So we are referring to this Alternative Dispute Resolution Act, which was Act 798 and amended to Act 2010. But again, in case there are any amendments to this act, it will still be the one that will establish a clear process for the settlement of disputes, which is not currently provided for in the current version of the Constitution. So Article 15 speaks about the supplementary documents, Governance Manual, the Ghana Companies Act of 2019, and the Headquarter Agreement between the Government of Ghana and FARA. In the event of any conflict of the provisions, this Constitution shall prevail. So the provisions of this Constitution, what we are proposing is that shall read together with the FARA Governance Manual, the Ghana Companies Act of 2019, and the Headquarter Agreement between the Government of Ghana and FARA. So all the documents have to be compliant and read together. So the proposed revision connects the erroneous assertion that the Constitution supersedes all other instruments. In terms of the subsidiaries of FARA, they shall also be bound by the FARA Constitution and Governance Manual, and the provisions of the Constitution shall take precedence in the event of conflict with any other regulations that may be applicable. So here what we are proposing is that subsidiaries of FARA shall also be bound by the FARA Constitution and the Governance Manual. So, after all this presentation, what are we seeking from the General Assembly? So, from the board, our request to the General Assembly is to approve the proposed amendments to the Constitution of FARA. As a Nominations and Governance Committee, we've also already done work on the Governance Manual to be compliant with the Constitution. But then we would like to transfer the approval power for the Governance Manual updates from the General Assembly to the board. Since you've already approved, since you're going to approve the amendments, so after the approval, the board will move forward to make sure that all the amendments are revised with the Governance Manual, and then the approval of the Governance Manual be done at the board level and making sure that it is compliant with what has been amended. So thank you very much for your kind attention, and I would like to hand over back to the chair.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Madam Elizabeth served as the chair of the Nominations Committee and Governance Committee. thank you very much for the good work. So we have seen the asks, and I just want to clarify a few issues before we move on. Based on the current constitution, we are supposed to give 3 weeks for the assembly to, yes, it was almost a year. The amendments have been out for almost a year. So I think we exceeded the actual time that we're supposed to give. So what I want to do now, because the approval is what stands between us and tea break, I'm going to give just a few minutes to see if there are any objections, if anyone wants any clarification. I see any hands. Can identify yourself and
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Sylvester Dixon Baguma is my name, a board member. I want to propose that whoever wants to pick a cup of coffee or tea walks quietly, picks it, and comes back so that we continue with the business. Otherwise, we shall be late. I submit.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sylvester, I think you are amending the Constitution. So, no, that is fine. Yes, sir. You can identify yourself and.
Okay. Thank you. So my name's Rogers Mbara. I represent the East Africa Farmers Federation. And mine is a concern regarding the languages that have been chosen with FARA. So we have Kiswahili language, which is spoken in 14 countries and around 200 million people in Africa using. Now, Kiswahili is not mentioned as a language that is identified by FARA, and I would like that to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very good proposal. Thank you. I think we can move for the adoption, and I'll go by acclamation, by voice vote. All those who are in favor say aye. Aye. And those who are not in favor say nay. So the ayes have it. Okay. We can go for coffee for 30 minutes, right? Yes. Yeah, and please, the VIP members, you can stay in your seat. The hotel will not allow us to bring stuff in here. So just half an hour break, and it's good to stretch your legs. It's not good to sit for too long. So see you back at 11:40. Exactly. Thank you.
reduction by up to 60%. Also, Dr. Lorena Maxwell, a plant pathologist at World Vegetable Center, attributed the limited involvement of youth in decision-making in the sector to the youth's inadequate knowledge about the sector. And to stress the need for the youth's capacity to be built, forget Sharika, a farmer in agronomic development and guidance. In line with this, the Agri-Youth Africa Empowerment Project is a mentoring program with themes of policy and advocacy, entrepreneurship, makers of adoption of climate-smart technology, and overall promoters of good practices in the sector.
It's a great pleasure for me to say a little bit about the work that FARA is undertaking within the context of the science agenda for agriculture in Africa. We are convinced that your agriculture is as good as your science. And this is something that has propelled FARA to come up with the initiative called HELP, H-E-L-P. Holistic Empowerment for Livelihoods Program. Now, within this program, we felt it compelling to set up an initiative that will help us to build Africa's capacity for research and innovation over the next 10 years.
In May 2018, representatives from FARA visited the Federal University of Viçosa for the first time. We started discussions about how the university could cooperate with FARA for the development of agriculture in Africa. We had good reasons for high expectations about this partnership. UFV has a long tradition of excellence in teaching, research, and extension, especially in areas related to agriculture and food. And FARA is the apex organization in Africa responsible for code. Glad to see that UFV has become one of the most important institutions to contribute to ARIFA.
On agriculture and food. The short courses taught in English are part of an initiative called the Brazilian Agribusiness Program. And the UFV FARA Master Partnership will offer places for ARIFA fellows in all agriculture-related UFV graduate programs. For a master's degree that usually takes 24 months. The programs involved include the ones with the highest evaluation by the Brazilian Graduate Assessment System.
More than a capacity development initiative, ARIFA has been designed with the innovation systems thinking to empower young Africans with the 21st century skills that are needed for the continent to navigate through the current global challenges, including climate change, and now with the implementation of the Africa Free Trade Agreement.
What Africa needs today is to establish unconventional partnerships, to be innovative in creating opportunities for youth, and most important, to preserve local talent within.
Welcome the ARIFA Fellows on our campus, and we will do our best to give them a warm reception and show them the practice and technologies that allowed Brazil to become one of the top agriculture producing countries in the world.
We have been in a working visit with the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, one of Nigeria's very important parastatal. At the close of this very important meeting, FARA and TED Fund Nigeria signed an MOU that places collaboration at the reach of TED Fund and indeed the Nigerian populace. The African Research and Innovation Fellowship in Africa can now begin to see how we can use all the instruments in our hand to strengthen Nigeria's capacity to deploy science in agriculture and agribusiness.
After the formal meetings that we had dissecting the areas of partnership, cooperation, and understanding, we have agreed and subsequently proceeded to sign on behalf of TED Fund, myself, and on behalf of FARA, an MOU that expresses the areas of interest. 10th Fund is funding, and research is more recently the main priority.
We don't have 50 years. All I have is 10 years. How can we make it?
With the coming of ARIFA, our mindset has now completely changed from focusing on basic research to applied research. Because for many years in this country, we have been neglecting the concept of innovative research.
This ARIFA is a very good and innovative initiative, and it has been a very, agriculture is all about, not only in my university, but the community, and to look at agriculture as like agribusiness. How do we market some of these things to our community and other states? So it has been a very good experience, very innovative and very original to FARA.
As a new university that is embracing a disruptive educational model, that the conventional model, I found this ARIFA FARA partnership is something that we need to learn from. I decided to be part so that our interest in the program can further be emphasized.
From our own end, try as much as possible. We mobilize scholars and send them to
we are now reorienting our approach from just having students conduct any kind of research just to acquire the certificate. But the end result does not need any use of it. So we want to tailor our attention now towards areas that are priority needs within the communities.
Well, it's been interesting and challenging at the same time. It has opened my eyes to a lot of areas where we need to top our technology and then carry out some things that we normally see as ordinary, but which would actually be translated innovatively to get more results.
It has been an interesting journey. I think it's about 1 year plus now. For some of them left for Brazil, and there has been wonderful learning and relearning under ARIFA.
For me, it's a dream come true because there's been this lacuna between research and application or implementation of research. Tailor-made research program that can translate to products, it can be now used to enhance job creation.
We had a smooth takeover. I think we already have some kind of facilities to kick off. And I think we are the first to start the ARIFA program in Nigeria because of the facilities on ground in my university. So we just started and it was going on smoothly.
The partnership between 10th Fund, FARA, with the Federal University Vicosa in Brazil is a very commendable project, and the fund is ready and committed to put in the funds.
FARA have a goal of training 5,000 fellows in the next 10 years. When I listened to the presentation, I even felt that, is it not this number inadequate? We need to increase this because of the value of this program to Africa.
Post-harvest losses, particularly of perishable vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, okra, and garden eggs, continue to threaten food security and livelihoods. To contribute to addressing this challenge, in January 2025, for Horticulture and the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa brought together 19 women and youth agripreneurs with startups focused on reducing these losses.
And so we do believe that to be able to help these losses, one of the areas that we can use is value addition or processing. So we put out this post-harvest innovation challenge for people to look at the value chain after harvest. going towards the consumer. Now we are also looking at indigenous crops because these crops are crops that we find in our localities. They are very common to us, yet we don't consume them as we should. And they are found to be very nutritious. They are found to be resilient to some of the climate issues that we are facing right now. So this challenge is looking at solving two issues at the same time. The post-harvest loss issues and also trying to get people to eat healthier.
After a 1-week intensive training in business, product development, and marketing, participants pitched their post-harvest solutions for prize awards to help scale up their innovative solutions. As part of follow-up efforts, the Post-Harvest Innovation Hub team visited the 2025 award winners to verify their innovations and products on the ground. Among them was Fred, team leader at Pharmacy, a technology-based startup working on a low-cost cold storage facility made from locally available materials to help okra farmers in his community reduce post-harvest losses. The team also visited Sandra, founder of Nanapapa Company Limited, who is adding value to cocoyam leaves, a highly consumed vegetable in Ghana, by processing and packaging them for extended shelf life and wider market reach.
And so this funding goes to help us buy equipment to scale our operations. We're currently not able to meet demand in the market. And so we're buying
warm greetings from government and people of Federal Republic of Nigeria
and then other
and express our appreciation to every institution represented here for your unwavering commitment to advancing agricultural science.
A promising startup that's tackling post-harvest losses by adding value.
History teaches us a profound lesson. Nations do not transform their agriculture merely because they possess the invest in knowledge.
Packaged products for consumers.
By processing and packaging vegetables and natural food spices sourced from smallholder farmers, Melia Foods is not only extending shelf life, but also creating market opportunities and supporting livelihoods in the region.
The reason why I come up with more products, our main aim is to improve nutrition, improve the diets of Ghanaians. So we are hoping that those who receive the grant will be able to improve on what they are doing, and in the process be able to make these indigenous crops more available all year round for consumers.
I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and express our appreciation to every institution represented here for your unwavering commitment to advancing agricultural science and innovation across our continent. History teaches us a profound lesson. Nations do not transform their agriculture merely because they possess fertile lands or fertile soils, favorable climates, or abundant natural resources. They transform their agriculture because they invest in knowledge. I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and express our appreciation to every institution represented here for your unwavering commitment to advancing agricultural science and innovation across our continent. History teaches us a profound lesson. Nations do not transform their agriculture merely because they possess fertile lands or fertile soils, favorable climates, or abundant natural resources. They transform their agriculture because they invest in knowledge.
To the glory of God, for the progress of Africa and Africans. To the glory of God.
I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and express our appreciation to every institution represented here for your unwavering commitment to advancing agricultural science and innovation across our continent. History teaches us a profound lesson. Nations do not transform their agriculture merely because they possess fertile lands or fertile soils, favorable climates, or abundant natural resources. They transform their agriculture because they invest in knowledge.
To the glory of God, for the progress of Africa and Africans.
Hello, everyone. Can we please take our seats and start the session? Okay, welcome back. For the rest of Thank you. I was just seeking some clarification for our program. Thank you very much. At this juncture, I will call upon the chair of the FARA board, Dr. Mark Bagabi, to lead us through the rest of the program. Let's welcome the chair.
Yes. Good afternoon. Let me start by recognizing the two instruments that were given to me, although I have also a moment for that. So when I saw the hammer, I remember the auctioneer or the judge. So that's a symbol of power and authority. But power and authority that don't go with actions, it's just empty power. So I was also given a file, meaning that that power goes with responsibility. And so thank you for allowing me to take on this session. Would like to recognize the outgoing board members. They are not all of them here. We are missing the outgoing chair. As they told you, she's not feeling well. But I just want to appreciate her for the good job well done. I think we should give her round of applause. So the two who are present this afternoon, I don't have to make an acclamation for them. I think they were standing in front of you here about 30 minutes ago. So no other than Janet. Can you come forward here? Janet was having an eagle's eye on our finances. And I think that has been very topical over the past 3 days that we were here. So thank you, Janet. Then the next one is Elizabeth. Come forward, Elizabeth. I think you saw what women can do. Taking us through the whole legal process until she asked for a bottle of water. Actually, I didn't ask her if she's a legal person, but you can see through the so many years she's been working in the governance committee that she has become a legal expert. And a good job well done. So we thank you. So we would like to recognize their good work with a send-off. I think there are some few gifts for them that we would like to get them handed over to them. I don't know the order, although I was a politician, but I'm not so much for protocol. So how do we go about giving them the...
We have a plaque, 2 plaques.
You have 2 plaques.
So we can give you the plaque.
And you can see these are FARA members.
Need the mic. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
This is for Madam Janet, Director and Chairperson of the Audit and Risk Governance Committee FARA board. So this is in recognition of your insightful leadership and enduring contribution to the advancement of FARA. So we thank you. And this is for our sister, Elizabeth Simbadala. That she has been a chairperson of the Nominations and Governance Committee of the FARA board. Actually, that was there 2023 to 2026. That's true for Janet as well. Again, for the same statement of recognition of her astute leadership and enduring contribution to the FARA advancement. Thank you, Elizabeth. And we are going to crown them the queens of FARA for the good work that they have done. I think we'll do the dressing to the ladies. Yeah? And that's their expertise. Eh? Aren't you pretty, ladies? Oh. Goodness. Ready? The one I saw men wearing. That's a different. Where? What is the kind of? So, aren't they beautiful? So let me take the pleasure of a picture.
Okay. So this is the traditional, one of Ghana's traditional clothes called kente. That's the queens and kings wear in some of our ceremonies. So this is to show how we appreciate you as FARA Queen and advocate for FARA. Thank you very much.
Before these two, yes, the ministers have come. Huh? Let's wait till the ministers have sat. Let's wait for the ministers to settle. Honorable Minister of State, good afternoon, most welcome, you and your team. Yes, so let me take this opportunity to welcome the Honorable Minister of State, the Minister of Federal Minister of Food Security, Agriculture and Food Security of Nigeria, who is with us today. Thank you for honoring us this afternoon. You found us at the right point when actually we are winding off the program of FARA General Assembly. I stand here as the new chair of the Board of Directors of FARA. To make another introduction, you know who I am. I'm a friend of agriculture and a friend of Nigeria as well, and an old friend of FARA. So at this point, we are sending off in beauty and dignity these two ladies. They've been serving on FARA board for the term of 2023 to 2026. And so you can see how we crown them with this beautiful Ghanaian attire. So I give them hands of applause. So before I invite the board members and although you saw them, to say what's at their heart, just in 1 minute, and tell us how they feel, and maybe that would be also a memorable verse for me. I begin with you. I like surprising people.
Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I have been a privilege for me to chair the committee and to work with a wonderful team at the board, Madam Bongiwe as our chair. Today we leave FARA with our heads high for the contribution that we've made in making FARA move from one step to another. Honorable Minister, you were not in during the morning session, but we had an opportunity to make presentations on what we've achieved for the last 3 years. And especially on my part as the chair of the Nominations and Governance Committee, we've just presented the amendments to the FARA Constitution, of which we believe if those amendments, as approved to date, if well implemented by the incoming board, in the next 3 years, we shall be celebrating a renewed FARA. We look forward to continue supporting FARA. We are still in the agriculture space. Personally, I'm the president of the Eastern Africa Farmers Federation, which is a regional farmers organization bringing together which has a footprint in 10 countries of Eastern Africa, bringing together 24 national level farmers organizations and representing over 25 million smallholder farmers. But I also sit on the board of the Pan-Africa Farmers Organization and a former president of PAFO. So we still have a lot of work to do, especially under our MOU, a lot of experience, and we are still ready to continue providing leadership in our other responsibilities, not directly as board members, but as people who are going to give an external eye to FARA and will be providing. Count on me and count on the farmers for support in making sure that you create an impact.
All right, thank you, Your Excellency, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Chair. And thank you, the General Assembly, for the opportunity you gave us in Durban 2023 to be. I can assure you through the Minister that your money is safe. We have tied every leaking holes, every dots and T's have been done, and we can assure everybody here the money at FARA is safe. The governance at FARA is safe. The structures and policies are now in place. If there was any doubt of that, be rest assured. And so I think the executive director, we've had a lot of tremendous growth like you had in my report earlier, but that's also the reports of the chair So on my behalf, I wish you well. I know everything will go as planned. But on behalf of the chair, who is not here with us, as she's on vision and sustainability of FARA, we are looking at a new and diversified funding mechanisms so that we stop relying on the dwindling finances that are there. So what are the investment plans that we can put forward? Secondly, it's to the Honorable Minister. There was a request for the endowment fund for FARA. It's also in line with what the fund we have already put in place here in Nigeria. If FARA can continue and be supported to grow that fund so that they are not always at risk. So that's one of the risk mitigation we did. But most of all, also through the minister, is for the FARA headquarters. They have a bill, the land is available in Ghana, but we are looking for resources. Anthony here will lead us. He's requesting for $100 million, which we must get. As this is FARA. FARA is, and it's our, I'm sending it back to you to be able to look at that. And as we planned, we will come for the launch. So it's not departure, it's not goodbye, but it's just a beginning of the continuation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, ladies. Please allow me to invite the Honorable Minister, if you don't mind, to tell you what follows. Can go, the ladies will stay. They will need a picture with the minister. Yes, it's only these three of you, huh? Right. Celebrate. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, ladies. So I'll be calling you back shortly. Thank you. So the next step, I'm just going to redo what I've already done, be a little bit formal, and give you a few. I'm just going to make a very brief statement of humility, how I wish I would make it on my knees, but you know my heart is kneeling. It's just going to be a statement of acceptance of this responsibility. When I'm done, to just take 1 or 2 minutes and make some solidarity remarks. And then I will invite His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State for Food Security, for Agriculture and Food Security, to come and close this General Assembly for us. So please allow me to, because this should be on record, what I've said, so that's why I wanted to say a few words that I've put down. I want to recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister, the General Assembly, the Board of Directors, the outgoing and incoming. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored and humbled by the confidence for the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa. I sincerely thank the General Assembly and the stakeholders for this opportunity to serve. I accept this responsibility with a strong commitment to advancing FARA's mandate and transforming African agriculture through science, technology, research, innovation, and strategic partnerships. You recall that over the past, as we look to the future, we must build on the remarkable achievements of those who have served before us. I think they deserve a hand of applause. Working closely with my fellow board members, FARA management, our member, FARA's Africa's leading platform for the agricultural research and innovation. I saw in the amended constitution the words innovation and research were underscored. Together we must continuously review changes, accelerate the adoption of technologies, and deliver great impact for farmers, agribusinesses, and food systems across our continent. I think in our discussions we saw and we agree that we need to translate the great knowledge Africa has into usable products by our farmers and agribusiness enterprises. We must also deepen our strategic partnerships and mobilize sustainable financing for agricultural research and innovation, as no single institution can achieve Africa's agricultural transformation alone. In the Clarion Call, Abuja Clarion Call, we've emphasized the need for financing. At the same time, we need to ensure that this vision of an endowment fund becomes a reality. By working together across governments, research institutions, the private sector, development partners, philanthropy, and farmers' organizations, we can unlock the investment needed to scale innovation and build resilient food systems. At the same time, we should digital agriculture, biotechnology, youth and women empowerment, artificial intelligence, and private sector-led innovation to ensure that FARA remains at the forefront of Africa's transformation agenda. The CADAP, we have 2026 to 2035 that was endorsed in Kampala last year. So finally, as a believer in continuous improvement, excellence and measurable results and accountability will be key. Together we can make FARA even stronger and ensure that agricultural research continues to improve livelihoods, strengthen food security, and drive sustainable economic growth across Africa. So thank you for your trust. I look forward to serving with dedication and working alongside you to advance FARA's vision, which is Africa's vision. So my take home, I picked a few things. The endowment fund, there was a request by the audit committee on communication of outcomes. And that will make us, I think we have to be able to put our narrative forward with greater clarity, so that that's when people know that we are relevant. Otherwise, other people shape our narrative. And then the last one was having a permanent residence, the headquarters. So with the team that I have with us, and very able executive director, whose mandate has been, accepted by the General Assembly, we hope that we can achieve these expectations of our people. So I really thank you. So that was my statement of acceptance. I therefore want to thank you so much for the hands of applause, and I believe that is signs of your support. So let me take this opportunity again to invite, in this order, the three personalities, if they are here. There is Dr. Momini Savadogo from Koraf. She will come and make some remarks of solidarity in support of FARA. Is he here? Yes. And then after him, we shall have Professor Patrick Okori from Rufaram. I saw him this morning. Do this work? Oh, yes, they work. Then after him, there will be Dr. Namoko Kovic from CJR. And then we have Dr. Babafemi Oyewole from PAFO. He's here, I saw him. So I will retreat down as they make their statement, each at a time. And then after, are they here? Yes. Then after them, then I will invite Honorable Minister to do the closing, official closing of this event. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to recognize the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Also recognize the board chair and honorable board members, the executive director of FARA, distinguished founding members of FARA, Asareka, Kardesa, and of course Koraf, I'm representing here, and the DG of ARCN, and all the DGs of NARIS are present here, distinguished delegates and participants. Permit me, Honorable Minister, to begin by giving thanks to the Almighty God, whose, of course, grace brought us here together, enabled us to deliberate safely, peacefully, and unity and purpose. We also acknowledge with great pride that the 10th General Assembly of FARA and the 9th African Agricultural Science Week are hosted here in Nigeria in one of Koraf's member states and regional space. And I would like to take the opportunity to really appreciate through you, Honorable Minister of the Government of Nigeria, and all the stakeholders forming the NARI within Nigeria that have come together to make those gatherings a very successful one. And I would like us to really acknowledge that. Big thank you for hosting that, and we are so proud that this is happening in our sub-region. So FARA convened here, as we know, and this General Assembly is a defining milestone in science-led agricultural transformation. And of course, CORAF is really sharing that spirit, the spirit of shared commitment and collective purpose that has long defined the relationship sustaining CORAF's continental mission. Dear delegates, central to FARA's mandate is its deep and enduring partnership with CORAF, but also with other sub-regional organizations, and that is forged through decades of joint research and coordination action. This assembly reaffirmed that such partnership remain indispensable to achieving transformative continent-wide agricultural impact. Grounded in this solidarity and strengthened by a renewed sense of direction, the Assembly also turned its attention to the institutional foundations that will carry this shared vision forward. So, Honorable Minister, we recognize that this Assembly marked a significant renewal of FARA's governance structure with the inauguration of the new board of directors, and CORAF would like warmly to congratulate the new elected board chair. Big congratulations to you, and wish you all the best in your new responsibility. Similarly, we congratulate all the new board members. The newly inaugurated board is called upon to boldly reimagine how agricultural research is conceived, funded, and developed across Africa, championing innovative-led, farmer-centered, and inclusive systems that place smallholders, women, and youth at the heart of the transformation agenda, positioning, therefore, FARA as an agile, forward-looking institution capable of delivering a prosperous and equitable continent. So during our deliberations, we want to convey really our profound solidarity, reaffirming CORAF alignment between regional agricultural successes in FARA's continental agenda. This shared sense of purpose carries with it a clear imperative that is Africa's research institutions must speak with one united continental voice, coordinated in purpose and resolute in pursuit of transformative outcomes. And it is from that unified voice that the Science Week drew its energy, affirming that transforming Africa agriculture demands three indispensable pillars. And that is, for my takeaway, three priorities that we need to reinforce going forward. We need, in top of the agricultural innovation and technologies, to bring more social innovation so that we can translate science into effective impact on the ground. Institutional innovation to keep governance structures more agile and accountable. And of course, financial innovation to unlock bold new funding models that can help us get true sovereignty in our funding processes and our delivery processes. So, Honorable Minister, dear board members, it is with those remarks that I truly reaffirm again CORAF's full solidarity with all the institutions forming FARA in all the partnership that we are building together, so that for the next years to come, we'll see new phase of FARA with very strong funding structure, very strong delivery structure, and very strong impact throughout Africa. I thank you very much for your attention.
Excellencies, Honorable Ministers of Agriculture and Food Security of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished personalities in your different roles and responsibilities, the FARA Board Chair, the outgoing Board Chair of FARA, and members, permit me stand on the existing protocol already established in the interest of time. Good afternoon. I want to deeply thank FARA for inviting RUFORUM to the 9th Agriculture Science Week and its 10th AGM. It speaks volumes about the strategic partnership that we have between FARA and RUFORUM that runs all the way through our history as two organizations that are working in a critical sector, agriculture. I want to congratulate FARA for a very successful week that has brought us together, the global agriculture innovation and development ecosystem stakeholders, to do what I call important things. One was for us to basically meet. Coming together is the beginning. And as somebody said many years ago, we must learn to stay together, and staying together, we must proceed to the one which creates change, which is working together. And so we also shared results and experiences and learned from one another quite a bit. During this week, we also galvanized relationships and co-created actions that significantly contribute to advancing Africa's agriculture science agenda. There was a lot of discussion during the opening session about the metrics related to our growth, and I won't go into all of them. But they highlighted the need and urgency for us to make Kampala Declaration actually work. So I want to thank FARA for bringing us together. We are stronger because of this premier meeting, and I want to congratulate the board and the management of FARA for organizing a wonderful meeting. I have attended several of these meetings, and this is a remarkable meeting. I think FARA, its leadership and management deserve a round of applause. I also want to particularly thank the government of Nigeria for enabling us to come here. I carry a Nigerian name and a Ugandan passport, and they always disturb me, why do you carry a wrong passport? But I learned that I am also Nigerian, so I'm very happy to be here. And most importantly, during this week, I had messages that reverberated around the Kampala Declaration, expanded, albeit due to expansion of land rather than improvement in total factor productivity. In fact, Africa's agriculture total factor productivity has remained lower compared to other similar regions of the world, almost a half of that over the last decade or so. And so there's quite some work to be done. And basically, the presentations that we had here and conversations pointed to the fact that we must improve our technological efficiency. In other words, the extent to which we can enhance our productivity by using less inputs, and that would contribute to a sustainable growth in our GDP and everything we do. So clearly, therefore, new bold steps must be taken to unlock this opportunity that Africa holds the vast amount of land that remains, 60% of what the world has, the large volumes of water we have for production and productivity, the young population, all these things are espoused in Kampala Declaration and the African Union's second decade of implementing Agenda 2063, which is also called a STEP. But delivering on these visions of success requires strategic partnerships such as the one that RUFORUM cherishes with FARA. This partnership is particularly urgent today because this continent must find lasting solutions to both endemic and emergent development challenges that affect agriculture, the source of livelihood for our 1.5 billion people. We must become food secure, but we must also be an equal opportunity employer for our young people. We must create wealth for our people. And most importantly, we must unlock opportunity for the present and future posterity. This is why RUFORUM values its strategic relationship with FARA and other like-minded organizations here. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, I am a firm believer in Africa and African institutions such as our host, FARA here. But we must celebrate, and in fact, we must celebrate our success, but also learn from history as we heard this morning, but also keep our eyes out for complacency. For example, during this meeting, I observed a number of things, but allow me speak to something that I saw stuck on our agricultural research for development landscape. Number one, while many universities have been open, and indeed some of them were here, the ratio of scientists per million that we have on our continent is very, very low compared to other areas around the world. And it is against that reason that the African Union has set a target of 100,000 PhDs across a broad range of disciplines over the next decade. But I want you to think of it a little bit more. Africa is 1.5 billion, just slightly more than India's population. India graduates 33,000 PhDs per year. Africa wants to do 10,000 PhDs per year. That explains why we import things. That explains why science may not work to deliver. And that's why we must rethink rebuilding our scientific capacity to enable it to work for this continent. I'm saying this following on the vision of one of Africa's founding fathers, His Excellency Kwame Nkrumah, who painted a picture many years ago in the 1950s of an Africa that he said was within the possibility of science and technology, making the Sahara bloom into a vast field with verdant vegetation for agriculture and industrial development. He saw that many years ago. And during this 9th AASW, we have talked about many things that contribute to that journey. It is possible for us to make that happen, but we must train. We must also engage and work with one another. We need each and all hands on deck to make that vision happen. And this is why RUFORUM remains strong in its resolve to work with FARA. As I finish, allow me say that we can fan the winds of success that are required to sail in new directions at full speed. Challenges will crop up here and there when they say it this way. The best way to eat an elephant in your path is to cut it up into little pieces. And so the old board did its part. They identified the elephant, and this meeting has identified it. The new board and its able chair must cut that elephant up, working with us into pieces so that we can all eat it and make agriculture work for Africa and the peoples of now and the future. So you have RUFORUM and all of us here to work with you, FARA. God bless FARA and God bless Africa. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
To the Honorable Minister, the Chairperson of the FARA Board, and the distinguished board members, the Executive Director of FARA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen in the room. It is my honor to convey CGIAR's solidarity with FARA and with all partners gathered in Abuja. FARA has a significant role to play on the African continent in order of strengthening our national and regional science systems. Together, we have contributed science, evidence, and innovation across crops, livestock, climate resilience, diets and nutrition, digital tools, and livelihoods. Yet, this week has reminded us that Africa's challenge is no longer simply to generate evidence and innovation. Our collective challenge in this room is to ensure that innovation delivers impact at scale and speed required to achieve our continental ambitions, exemplified in the CADEP Kampala Declaration to secure a resilient and prosperous future for Africa's agri-food systems. Borrowing from Dr. Lawrence Haddad, the Executive Director of GAIN, the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, we in this room must not accept the current pace of change. Climate change, natural resource degradation, demographic shifts, shifting consumer demand, and emerging risks are placing unprecedented pressure on our agri-food systems. These challenges cannot be answered with yesterday's solutions. They demand a continuous pipeline of innovation and national and regional research institutions that are strong enough to turn solutions into outcomes for our farmers, consumers, and economies. That is why investment in agricultural research and innovation is not optional. It is investment in resilience, competitiveness, food security, and economic transformation. Investment must strengthen national and regional research systems, universities, extension services, research infrastructure, digital and data capabilities, and the next generation of African scientists, innovators, and entrepreneurs, deliberately including women and youth. These are the foundations on which sustained transformation will be built. CGIAR, therefore, stands in solidarity with FARA. This solidarity must be more than our solidarity must result in working together to foster our governments making predictable investments in science, innovation, and institutional capacity. Acting as one coherent research and innovation ecosystem. Joining implementing partners to scale proven solutions, and rather than just multiplying yet more pilots. Working with farmer organizations for results. Solidarity also means ensuring that This spirit of partnership is shaping CGIAR's future, both aimed at making CGIAR more responsive to Africa's priorities. Are grateful to FARA for gathering us in Abuja this week to reaffirm our commitment. We are grateful to all who contributed to the CGIAR Africa Strategy consultation that we had on Tuesday this week. And we look forward to continuing this dialogue in the Africa Food Systems Forum on the 2nd of September this year. Together, let us ensure that Africa is not only a beneficiary of global science, but Africa herself becomes a global leader in developing the solutions required for a resilient, sustainable, and prosperous future. Finally, I am inspired by Dr. Debisi Araba's football analogy on Monday, and I am mindful that I have no basic football literacy at all. But I have complied to undertake the challenge he gave us, which was to reflect on the Soccer World Cup. My reflection observation is this: while no African team made it to the top ranks, the teams that did had African talent present. What made the difference is that, as Dr. Arabi also told us, was investment that allowed the African talent to reach their full potential in those teams. So imagine what would happen if we as African countries invested adequately in the talent here on home ground. How many African teams would reach the top rounds? By the same analogy, if we invest adequately in our national and regional agricultural research system, we would awaken the agricultural potential that lies dormant across our giant continent. With solidarity, let us foster investment to unlock African scientific potential and accelerate the transformation of our agri-food systems for our farmers, our young people, our women, and our continent. In solidarity, we must not accept the current pace of progress. So thank you, FARA, for bringing us here, and thank you, we look to you to keep leading us to the potential of our continent. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, the Chairperson of FARA, and the new and the outgoing board members of FARA, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the existing protocols. On behalf of the Pan-African Farmers Organization, representing over 250 million farmers through our 5 regional members and national farmers organizations across the continent, I extend our warmest congratulations to the newly constituted board of the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa. Your election comes at a defining moment for African agriculture. Our continent faces unprecedented challenges from climate change, soil degradation, conflicts, market disruptions, and rising food insecurity to the growing need to create opportunities for Africa's youth and women. These challenges require bold leadership, stronger partnership, and a renewed commitment to science, innovation, and farmer-centered transformation. PAFO reaffirms its unwavering solidarity with FARA and its new leadership. As highlighted during this week, farmers are looking forward to research and innovation that is co-created with them. So research can only achieve its full impact when it is driven by farmers' priorities and translated into practical, scalable solutions that improve livelihoods. The long-standing partnership between PAFO and FARA, strengthened through our Memorandum of Understanding and joint programs, provides a solid foundation for deeper collaboration. Together, we can strengthen agricultural innovation systems, promote the co-creation of technologies, enhance knowledge exchange, empower youth and women, improve resilience to climate change, and ensure that scientific advices reach the millions of farmers who feed our continent. To the new board, as you begin your mandate, please count on PAFO as a committed strategic partner. We stand ready to work alongside you in advancing the implementation of the CADEP Kampala Declaration, strengthening farmer-led innovation, building resilient, inclusive, and sustainable food systems across Africa. We wish the new chairperson and the board every success in its stewardship of FARA and look forward to an even stronger partnership in the years ahead. Together, let us ensure that African agricultural research remains responsive to farmers' needs, that innovation reaches every farm, and that science continues to achieve and drive Africa's agricultural transformation. Congratulations to the General Assembly for a successful meeting. And once again, to the new board, may your tenure be marked by wisdom, innovation, and lasting impact for FARA and for the people of Africa. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much for words of solidarity we've heard from the four organizations that are members of FARA board. I think most of us will have been to see a film, a movie. At the end of it, they remove the curtain and you see the people who have been behind that production. When I was coming from the airport, I was picked by staff of FARA, and this was even before the starting of the event, and I could see fatigue on their faces. And I really wondered, will these people survive these 4 days? So I would really like to invite the brain behind the top management of FARA, no other than Executive Director, Dr. Agre Agumia, to come and give a vote of thanks to his team. It's befitting that he does that. Please.
Honorable Minister, Senator Dr. Aliyu. Yeah. I want to borrow what you said yesterday and say, great farmer. Ah, great. Yeah, that's, I am surprised pleasantly that the response was there, was the correct one. The speakers, several speakers have come here and they have acknowledged FARA, they have appreciated FARA. But who is FARA? FARA is a forum. It's a forum of all of us. So, like Patrick Okori, the man with Nigerian name, Ugandan passport, yeah, he was thanking himself. FARA, he's part of FARA. We are all part of FARA. We've come close to the end of what has been characterized as a successful event. And for the success, our first thanks go to our God. Organizing this has been a very collaborative effort. We have our co-organizers listed down there, and would like to acknowledge our co-organizers. And the biggest co-organizer was the government of Nigeria. Somebody commented that they have been to many meetings. They have not seen a meeting that is supported and owned and patronized by the top leadership of the sector like we have had this week by our ministers. Would like to thank you very much and convey our appreciation to Senator Abubakar Chari and the Minister for Livestock for supporting us. And you've supported us with your presence, but you've also supported us materially. We are so thankful. In fact, the many times we have met, I first met Honorable Minister last week on Thursday, and we've been meeting almost every day. So I just feel we are now friends. This, for us, has been a journey of faith. There were a lot of things that were not with many of the leaders in this country who have made things happen. For us, there was an amendment of the Constitution. There was part of the Constitution. There's an article which says that the General Assembly is organized by the Board of Directors of FARA. The Secretariat does whatever it does on behalf of the board. And so our board want to thank you for entrusting us. That part was not amended, was it? No. Yeah. We thank you for trusting us with this role and for being there. We had a full house, and we are thankful that you stayed here all through up to the end. We'd like to thank the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and affiliated institutions. Thank the Executive Secretary. It's been a journey that we've had all the way from Abu Dhabi where I first met him, and he's been very supportive all through. Well, I was very happy to see the support and participation of the agricultural research institutions, the many of them that had very support and participation in this event. The Nigeria Day, initially, we were not sure about the wisdom of having just an exhibition, denying us the opportunity to go out to the field, but we saw the wisdom that was in that. I'd like to recognize our sponsors. We had several sponsors that contributed materially to this event. I'd also like to recognize you, the participants, the delegates, who invested time and money and resources to come and spend this week with us. This event would not be possible. It would not be considered a success if we didn't have our participants. I'd like to thank the media for working with us. I thank the service providers, especially for their understanding. It's only them who know what I mean by their understanding. So thank you, service providers. Over the week, some things may have gone very well, some may not have gone very well. Where they didn't, would like to register our apologies. Now, Honorable Minister, I would like to take this opportunity to invite the staff of FARA, the ones who have been the engine behind all the preparations, so that you can see them, participants can see them, and appreciate them, and colleagues. Yes.
No choice. If you go to pocket, I need you ever to put it and then
Honorable Minister, delegates, this is the team, the dream team that has been behind all this. This is the team that our chairperson thought they were fatigued. They were just making it up. I'd like to introduce the chairman of the FARA Secretariat Organizing Committee. It's very easy to guess who that is, Prof. Fatumbi. He has been steering the whole process. I would like to recognize our special envoy to Abuja, Abdurazak Ibrahim. We were privileged to have a son of the soil who, when we went to the ministry, they said they saw him present in the corridors more than the regular staff. Yeah. I would like to also recognize the gentleman who was responsible for handling the finances, Johnson. The lady who was responsible for logistics. She's very emotional right now. Vesta has been running around. Yeah. There are very many. But, Honorable Minister, I would like to invite you to honor us with a picture with you. Okay.
I think we have succeeded, isn't it? Yes. No more tension.
So thank you, Executive Director. Thank you, FARA team, for being the engine behind this great success. I think the few words by the Executive Director, they are my words as well. I want to make them mine as well. But just to say one thing, I have been to a number of FARA General Assemblies, not actually many, a few. I've been to Kampala. That was among the first ones. Yeah, I think 2005 or 2005, yes. Is that correct, Dixon? I think it was 2005. It was a hit, you know, it really was. That's when I came to know FARA. Then I've been to Maputo, where I had the pleasure of sitting at the same table with the son of the soil here, His Excellency Obasanjo. He was there. Then I've been to other few places. But why am I saying this? I have always seen the presence of Nigeria. We must accept that Nigeria is a great nation. We must accept that. And you know, when you've got a big brother, no one can bully you. What I noticed that's different from this Africa Agricultural Science Week and the General Assembly, the real ownership of this government. Throughout the 4 days, there's no single day when there was no representation at the ministerial level. This kind of commitment, to be honest, I have not seen it anywhere. And this is why I strongly believe that the Abuja clearing call we've made, that declaration of putting FARA on a good footing in terms of financial sustainability, with Nigeria leading, I'm sure we can get there. And they have shown true leadership by owning the 4 days we have spent here. So thank you so much, Minister. Thank you. So those were my remarks of appreciation, and appreciating, of course, I did the board and the senior management of FARA. I think by saying that, so many people didn't know me, but by making that affirmative statement of how long ago I have been in relationship with FARA, that shows you I understand what FARA stands for. And therefore we can walk together the journey. So let me take this opportunity to close the 9th Africa Agricultural Science Week and the 10th FARA General Assembly. You're most welcome, Minister.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I combined the three because for 1 week, that is exactly what we have witnessed. The incoming chairperson of the Forum for Agriculture, very much. It was wonderful talking to you on the sideline yesterday. The immediate past chairperson, Madam Bengiswe Njobe, and other board members. In particular, let me especially recognize Madam Elizabeth Ismadala. Thank you for the service. Definitely talking about governance, you have left a mark. And I'm sure as we move to the next higher level of FARA, you will be remembered in good notes. Let me also appreciate Janet Ngobalu. Thank you very much for ensuring that we are risk-free. Risk is what everybody is afraid of. And you have done all due diligence to ensure that FARA will continue to be risk-free. Let me appreciate all other very Council of Nigeria, which is our own National Agricultural Research Organization, and the apex leading the research system in Nigeria. All other executive directors, heads of research organizations all over Africa that are here, I want to specially thank you for coming to Nigeria, and I'm sure you've had a very good time in Abuja. So when you hear Abuja, all the stories that you hear negatively, I'm sure you have debunked them by your presence in Abuja, and you've seen that it is just media blitz. This is Nigeria and this is Abuja. As a country and as a people, we are always Nigeria know the world. Nigeria know the. So when you leave, always remember this. No matter what you see, even if you see us on the ground, we are only commuting with those who are on the ground. For when we rise, we shall go to higher grounds. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for me, it is a very solemn moment. Solemn not because we are mourning and you are part of it, surviving every single step of that transformation. I think you have every cause to be grateful to God. So FARA has come a long way. And yesterday, I went to look or visit Dr. Adamu Aliu, who was the then director of Agri Sciences Department. And I told him, I said, we are hosting FARA. And he said, FARA? Okay, SPA. Now, only those who are old enough will remember the special program on African agricultural research, which is SPA. And it was SPA that was the forerunner leading to the establishment of FARA. And so when I visited him yesterday, it was a lot of, casting back to see the journey. And here we are talking about transformation of this same body to go to a higher ground. So I want to congratulate FARA for this particular peak. As we draw to the close of the 10th General Assembly of FARA and the 9th African Agricultural Sciences Week, I stand before you, therefore, with a very deep sense of fulfillment and gratitude to Almighty God that this day had come, this event had come. We have to appreciate our president and all other government officials who supported us to make the hosting of this event possible. Over the past 4 days, Abuja has not merely hosted another conference. Together, we have written another important chapter in the history of African agricultural transformation. We came together as scientists, policymakers, innovators, farmers, investors, development partners, and political leaders, united by one common purpose: Nigeria and the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I sincerely thank every delegate who traveled from every corner of Africa and the historic General Assembly. Your active participation has made this gathering a remarkable success. Throughout the week, we witnessed vibrant scientific discussions, practical technological demonstrations, high-level policy dialogues, dynamic side events, strategic partnerships, youth innovation showcases, and exhibitions that demonstrated the enormous potential that exists within Africa. More importantly, we leave Abuja with renewed confidence that Africa possesses the knowledge, institutions, and human capital required to transform its agri-food systems. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest strengths of FARA is that it represents far more than a continental institution. It represents a vision of African solidarity. Over the years, FARA has successfully built and sustained a unique continental architecture that connects regional research organizations, national agricultural research systems, universities, the CGIS centers, farmer organizations, the private sector, development partners, and policy institutions into a single innovation ecosystem. This architecture remains one of Africa's greatest comparative advantages. It enables us to avoid duplication, promote regional collaboration, share knowledge across borders, and ensure that scientific discoveries are translated into real benefit for farmers, agribusinesses, and consumers. Nigeria, therefore, value highly this continental platform. We equally commend the governance culture that has distinguished FARA over the years. Today's peaceful transition of leadership once again demonstrates the maturity, transparency, and credibility of the institution. Strong institutions are not built merely by constitutions. They are built for the collective good. I therefore congratulate the new elected chairperson and every member of the incoming board of directors. Your election reflects the confidence that Africa has placed in your leadership. The task before you is both significant and inspiring. You assume office at a time when Africa has adopted the Kampala Declaration, when scientific innovation is advancing at unprecedented speed, and when governments are increasingly recognizing that investment in agricultural research is fundamental to food security, economic growth, and climate resilience. I encourage you to build upon the excellent foundation laid by your predecessors. Continue strengthening FARA's partnership with the African Union Commission, the IUBAD, NEPAD, regional economic communities, National Agricultural Research System. FARA is expanding, and therefore everybody is welcome to partner with FARA in moving African agriculture forward. To the outgoing chairperson, members of the outgoing board, and the executive director, together with the secretariat, Nigeria extends its profound appreciation. Your dedication, wisdom, and commitment have positioned FARA as one of Africa's most respected continental institutions. The success of this Science Week bears testimony to your leadership and to the professionalism of the secretariat. And I commend all the secretariat staff for doing a yeoman's job in ensuring that everything went smoothly without any negative event. Thank you very much for keeping that integrity. Please allow me to express Nigeria's appreciation to all our partners who contributed to the success of this event. The African Union Commission, FARA, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, the Regional Research Organization, CGI centers, and our federal ministries, departments, and agencies, development partners, sponsors, exhibitors, volunteers, security agencies, members of the media, and the numerous committees whose tireless efforts often remain behind the scenes. You have all contributed to making Abuja the meeting point of African agricultural science this week. As our international guest, on our enduring friendship. Most importantly, some of you, I'm sure all of you must have tasted Nigerian jollof rice. So, as you return back and you hear the debate, which one is better between Ghana and Nigeria? I think you are now better. You'll be able to judge properly. Important is that all the grammar we are blowing ends to what one of our politicians here said is stomach infrastructure. And that is why I always respect that statement when I said yesterday, blowing. The moment food is not getting to the table of our citizens, then the grammar is ending with us. But if food is getting to our table, the citizens' table, there is food security, good nutritional food, then definitely science is carrying the stomach this time around. So, leg, all think about. So when we go back, let's not be defending too much of our space. Let's open our space and accommodate more people to work with us so that we can develop the kind of solutions we need. As scientists, most instances, we are too much interested in territorial control and defense. And then you end up living the same territory without anything. So let's work. It's an opportunity. I'm sure 20 years ago, those who were at the helm of affairs on this same system, if you see them today, you will know that it's just a matter of time. So please, I urge us, the partnership we are forging, the spirit of Abuja that we are living here with, is a spirit of growth. Remember, Abuja was a virgin land, and our federal government came and started creating a new federal capital. And today is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. Abuja is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. A lot of development. But that is possible if people come together. So you have all contributed to making ideas, renewed determination to work together for Africa's agricultural transformation, new friendship. At least that one is in the kitty. Carry only the positives and go home with it. And we will not be asking you for any tax or anything, just go with it. The partnerships established in Abuja must mature into collaborative research, stronger institutions, increased investment, and measurable impact in the lives of our farmers. Africa cannot afford another fragmented effort. Our future depends on collective action. And of course, the Ruforum head, the Nigerian in Uganda, Dr. Okori. Yes, Okori is a name here very popular in Nigeria too, among so many people. So that's why. And I think we need to do some African research to see the relationship. He told us very clearly that until and unless we invest in knowledge to a level that is commensurate with our population growth, people who will be doing a lot of scientific work, then we are not going to get the result. And I think I agree totally with him. If you look at the total research capacity of countries that are doing very well in small area, you agree with me why they are able to have higher productivity per unit area of production as against our own. We're expanding on land. The of production we're having will be more than sufficient to take us somewhere. Because where we are making 2 tons as against maybe 10 tons that some people are able to make. And I do make this example. Even Nigeria, yes, we have, what do they call it, the highest production of cassava, for example, but we are not able to still get to the highest possible yield for cassava, which is almost like 50 tons per hectare. So these are the challenges and these are the things we must go home with. Let us therefore lead this General Assembly with a new commitment to making science the foundation of agricultural transformation, innovation the engine of growth, and partnership the pathway to prosperity. On behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, I wish the new board every success in the discharge of its responsibility. You can count on Nigeria's continuous support for the vision, mission, and mandate of FARA. May the decisions taken during the General Assembly guide our work over the coming years and contribute meaningfully to achieving the aspirations of the Kampala Declaration, Agenda 2063, and a food secure, prosperous Africa. Thank you for honoring Nigeria with the opportunity to host this history, and may God bless Africa. Thank you, and God bless. Yes, you see, I'm so pleased. All right. I'm carried away because I didn't want it to end. In Nigeria, we say, life in daddy, ariwa. The fault in anything sweet is that it ends. So this sweet event is ending, and it is my pleasure and honor to formally declare the 10th FARA General Assembly and the 9th African Agricultural Sciences Week officially closed, to the glory of God. Thank you very much. Excuse me, please, shall we all remain seated whilst the minister and our VIP exit the hall before we all move out? So we just want to please, just remain. So please remain seated. Our lunch will be at Obudu. So for us all, that's where we are going to have our lunch. The VIPs, you will be at Soho. So the FARA team will lead you there from out there. So please, let's just hold on a bit. The minister is here to get out from the hall. Okay, so thank you very much. I think the minister is out fully. We thank you very much.